So you guys, there's three different types of barbers, right? You have the dreamer, you got the lone wolf, and you got the top barber. Okay. So let's start off with the dreamer. What does the dreamer look like? So the dreamer is typically a beginner barber and they can cut hair, but they're just not that great yet. Okay. This barber also charges $15 to $25, and typically you can hear them say things like, I need to wait, I'm just not there yet. It's all in God's hands, it's all in God's timing. And they post the final result. They don't actually create content. They cut hair. They do, in fact, cut hair, but they're just not the best yet. Okay, so they're scared to raise their prices because they think it's a bad thing. They think they're not worth it yet. They typically think that they need to spend more time behind the chair. Okay, but that's just not true. And the thing with the dreamer is we've all been there, right? Everybody starts somewhere. Some pick it up quicker, some take years. Okay, but the thing with the dreamer is that it's just a mindset shift. Okay, if you present yourself as a beginner barber, other people are only going to see a beginner barber. Okay, so hold yourself to a high standard when you start, right? That's going to be the best thing you could do when you first start cutting hair, is act and assume that you are already a great barber. Because at the end of the day, if you're cutting hair and you're putting hair on the floor, you in fact are a barber. You do cut hair. You just need to start manifesting it and start visualizing yourself as a real full-time barber. Because again, we can always work on your skills, but how you present yourself to the world is how they're going to view you. So you don't need to wait. I know barbers that have been cutting hair for years and they're still at this level, okay? Maybe $30, maybe $40. But it's not a time thing. It's about how well do you market yourself? How do you present yourself to the world? And how do you see yourself? Like, what is your self-image when you're a beginner barber? You're probably unconfident. You're probably scared because you think that you're not worth the money that you're getting, right? And I only say this because I was at this level before. I was a dreamer barber at one point. But again, I picked it up pretty quick and I was able to scale fast. So let's move on to the next one. Now you guys, the lone wolf has been cutting for a few years now, right? More experienced. Their haircuts are fire. They're probably charging $40 to $60, but they're doing 8 to 12 haircuts per day, sometimes even more. They might be doing 14, 15 haircuts a day, right? They post occasionally, but when they do post, they may post 4 different types of content, right? So they look on the internet, they see what's trending, and they just hop on the newest wave, okay? So you go to their page and you have no idea what their main focus is. You see a day in the life, you see a POV with the meta glasses, you see a tutorial video, and then you see a before and after. And then maybe you'll see a consultation. Point is, they're just scrambling and they're just trying to keep up with the trends, right? They're not actually following any type of system, or they have no plan when it comes to content. They're just throwing shit at the wall and see what sticks, okay? So typically you can hear a lone wolf say something like, I don't need to post, bro. I'm already booked, okay? And the problem with this is something that I dealt with myself. Okay, I was at a point where I was making a lot of money. I was booked up 10 haircuts a day minimum, right? I'm bringing home $600 a day, easy, right? But I wasn't building something, right? So time goes on and I'm thinking, dude, I'm booked in real life. I don't need content. I don't need social media. After a couple years, I realized I haven't been building a digital footprint, right? Meanwhile, there's barbers out there that have been posting every single day for 3-4 years straight. They have 3 to 4 years of a digital footprint that I don't have, right? All I have is some pictures to show for it, right? But they were building a brand, okay? So that's the problem with thinking that you don't need to post because you're already booked, okay? But you're just going in circles. You cut hair, it grows back. You cut hair, it grows back. You cut hair, it grows back. The only thing you're really losing is time. Okay, so understand that you gotta post content to build something. Now you're stacking posts. Now you're getting better. Now people are recognizing you for posting and being that guy that is always working on his business, right? You're in front of people's faces more than the guy that just never posts. And you can typically see the lone wolf raising his prices every couple years by $5 to $10. Now, the problem with this is They're probably scared to raise their prices because they know that their service is not up to par yet. They're only raising their price $5 to $10 because it's been years. So they're like, well, I'm due for a raise, right? There's barbers that have gotten the game and raised their price within the first year from $30 to $100. The only difference is that they actually post it every day. So they're seeing new eyes. The only difference is that they post it every single day. And the reason that helps is because you can get new people in your chair that are willing to pay the price. But if you raise your price $5 to $10 every couple of years, you're still cutting the same people. And they're like, dude, you just keep going up by $5. Like, what is really going on? Now you get to a point where you push it just a little too far. And that client no longer sees the value and he's out. So now you're stuck with an empty schedule and you're wondering, where did all my clients go? I've been cutting hair for so long. All my loyal clients left me, right? And honestly, bro, if you were really that good, you would raise your price by more than $5 to $10. You know, in this economy, you know, in this world, $5 to $10 is not going to go very far. Okay. So if you really had new clients coming in, if you really had a solid, healthy business, you would raise your price by $20 and you would do it strategically, not just because it took years to get here, but because your business is so healthy that you can afford to lose clients. Your business is so healthy, you're getting new clients in the door every day that will pay you whatever you're charging. So you got the lone wolf stuck in the same spot because he doesn't want to look for help, right? Meanwhile, there's barbers out here lapping him, okay? So this is what they say, I'll figure it out on my own, right? I used to say the same thing. I would say it all the time. Yo, I'll figure it out on my own. I got it, right? Only problem is you don't have accountability. There's only so many people that can post every single day, right? See what adjustments they can make improvements, study the market, ask for feedback, right? You can't do that on your own. It's gonna be a matter of time until you miss a post. It's gonna be a matter of time until you get lost and you don't know what's working. You don't know what the trend is. You don't know what's sticking. You don't know why people are posting what they're posting. You're just trying to hop on the wave and figure it out on your own. So you don't really have anybody to back you. You don't have any support. You don't have anyone to ask questions to. So yes, you could lone wolf it and try to figure it out on your own. But my question is, how long will that take you to do, right? If you can get the results faster, why would you not want to do it faster? And last but not least, the lone barber sells a haircut, right? He sells a haircut. And so the real problem with selling only a haircut is that your clients can go get that haircut anywhere else. They can go get that fade, that taper. They can get that lineup anywhere from any barber. Nowadays, there's a lot of really talented barbers, right? But they're just selling a haircut, okay? And that brings me to the next barber, which is the top barber. Yeah, so the top barber posts converting content every single day. And what converting means is that the content is getting viewers, yes, but those viewers are turning into clients in their chair. So a lot of barbers focus on getting views, but they don't focus on those viewers actually getting in their chair, right? They're just posting videos, they're posting pictures, and hopefully someone sees it, but that someone might not even be in their city. That someone might not be able to actually come get a haircut, okay? So top barbers are focused on converting viewers into actual clients, paying customers, right? The top barber sells an experience. They sell a feeling of confidence, right? When you sell a haircut, you box yourself in as a barber. When you sell an experience and a feeling, you are now a real business, okay? Like you are literally a personal brand. People know you for giving them the service that they want, not just a haircut and a fade. They're actually giving you a good experience from the moment you walk into the door to the moment you leave, okay? So they're not focused on selling a haircut. They're focused on making you feel like the best person ever, right? We've all got a haircut before and felt like, damn, that was a fire haircut. But for 45 minutes, you guys weren't even talking. He didn't ask you a single question. It just wasn't a good experience overall. So that's the difference right there is, did I have a good time the time I was in the barbershop? Or was it just a good haircut and I don't really like the guy, right? That's the difference. So that's what a top barber does, okay? They also focus on attracting high ticket clientele, not just anyone that wants to come get a haircut. So Again, top barbers, they focus on quality, right? Not quantity. When you focus on quantity, you're gonna get a lot of shitty clients because you gotta do a lot of it, right? The top barber that's charging $100 only has to cut 5 people to make 500, right? The quantity barber, the lone wolf, he has to cut 10 people to make that amount of money. So the top barber is spending 5 hours in the shop. The lone wolf is spending 10 hours in the shop, but they both make the same amount of money. Okay, so I mean, you pick. You could do 10 haircuts, deal with 10 different energies, 10 different clients, 10 different chances for someone to be late, 10 different chances for someone to no-show you or cancel. Meanwhile, you can just focus on 5 high-quality clients that value your time and value the service that you actually provide. Okay, that person's gonna show up. And if they don't show up, they're gonna let you know. And if they let you know, also probably gonna pay you for missing that appointment because that's the level of people you're working with. Okay, so that's a huge difference between the lone wolf and the top barber. Now, you can hear a top barber saying things like, you can never learn too much. And that just means they're a student of the game. I was told to always be a sponge, always be learning. It can never hurt to learn too much. It's never a bad thing, right? So you can never learn too much. That's a big one. I hear a lot of barbers that always say, oh, bro, I don't buy courses. I'm not a student. I've been doing this shit for a long time. Okay, well, how much are you making? What's your life like outside the shop? Are you slaving behind the chair all day with that $1,000 a day? Or are you making $1,000 going home, having time for your family, having time for the gym, having time for yourself? That's the big difference. A lot of barbers can make $1,000 in a day, but how long does it take them? What do they have to sacrifice to get that money? And then again, what does that money even do for you? You know, I was making a lot of money at one point. I was making 18K a month, okay? But what I realized is, what is it worth, right? You're making 18K a month, but you're spending your entire day behind the chair, right? So at what cost? That's what I would ask you. At what cost do you want to be a barber? At what cost do you want to make that money, right? Now, the top barber charges 100 plus, okay? This is going to put you in a whole different category. Now, $100 is honestly not that crazy anymore. Sounds crazy to say, but $100 is happening a lot. You could probably go to any city and find a barber that's charging $100. When I first started cutting hair, $100 wasn't even in the picture. That wasn't even a thought. Okay, $20 was the max, right? So nowadays, $100 is bare minimum if you want to be a top barber, okay? And what that does is it allows you to spend less time in the shop. That's what matters. More time with your family, more time in the gym, more time reading books, more time feeding into your own soul instead of pouring all your energy into your clients, right? Top barbers also value their self-image, not validation from others, okay? I'm only speaking on all these different avatars because I was all 3 of these at one point, okay? So top barbers value self-image over validation from others. What that really means is they look at themselves and they see the value in themselves, and that's why they're able to charge 100 with no sweat. They understand that their time is worth a lot more, right? And in order to do that, you have to really believe in yourself. You have to give yourself the best self-talk. You got to look in the mirror and say, that's the man right there, right? Not just wearing designer clothes and going to barber expos and trying to get validation from other men, right? It's pretty gay. So look into yourself and figure out, what do you see when you look in the mirror? Are you happy with that man? Are you in the best shape possible? Do you think that you're the best in the city? Do you understand that you are actually worth a lot more than $40? Right? And we're not even getting into the taxes. We're not getting into expenses. We're just talking about the base price, okay? So make sure you are pouring into yourself and you're not looking for validation from others. I thought that if I wore the designer clothes, I thought that if I present myself as a baller or look like a rapper wearing chains and designer clothes, all that bullshit, right? That people are gonna be like, oh man, that guy's cool, I'll pay him 100. But that just wasn't the case. I got the money, I got the clothes, I got the cars, and I still didn't love myself. And that's why it was hard for me to charge $120 a cut, because I didn't even see myself as worth that. Okay, so if you don't see yourself as worth it, nobody else will. And you're gonna be stuck looking for validation from everywhere else when it really comes from within. Okay, so pour into yourself. Stop looking for validation from others, especially other men or other barbers in the game. Okay, top barbers do not compete with other barbers, right? We're in a community, we're in an industry where we grow together. We don't fight each other and battle each other. Who got the best fade? Who got the best business? How about that? Who got the most new clients this month, right? Who got the most tips? Okay, who got the most exposure and influence on people in real life? Not just the internet, not just at barber battles, okay? Last but not least, top barbers surround themselves with winners. Like I was saying, it's a culture, it's a community. We come together to win, right? We learn off each other, we bounce ideas off each other, we collaborate, we throw events together. This is not about beating each other in the fastest fade. It just doesn't make sense to me, okay? So a haircut can only get so good, but your business, your community, your team, that's what can get great, right? But so many barbers are focused on validation from other men, which makes no sense to me. So surround yourself with winners if you want to be a top barber. Don't look at things as competition, okay? There is no competition when you're a top barber.